So, Adam, this house up here that we're going up to this house has been rented pretty consistently since I got my CO.
This one.
Mm-hmm. And after the fires, my tenant that was in here left his toothbrush, never came back, not even for his stuff. I had to get everything out. They were so traumatized from the whole darn thing. They never came
What's
back.
a place like this cost to rent out per month?
About $100,000.
$100,000 a month.
Yeah. Yeah, welcome to Palisades.
Well, you made it.
We lived.
Yeah.
So the issue for me and many people, the Christmas stuff is still here from the tenant,
Yeah.
is that you cannot imagine what you're going to do with your asset.
This is one of the few houses that survived this canyon.
The one of two.
One of two.
That's right.
How many were in the canyon?
17.
17. So 2 out of 17 made it. So that's low percentile.
80% of the Palisades is gone.
80%. So you built this home, and you finished it in 2019.
Yeah.
And it's 14,000 square foot, although I don't know where all of it is, but we'll find it. And you designed, decorated, built. And so this made it, but it got a lot of smoke inside, so non-hard surfaces need to be cleaned or replaced or what have you. So tile floor could be clean, but a sofa needs to be what?
Thrown away.
Thrown away.
I mean, it's just, yeah.
Well, you're not going to rent this out to Woody Harrelson for $100,000 a month with a sofa that smells like a brick cat, right?
Right after the fire, I came here, and then I went to my other place, and then Tim and I went to an event in London. And while I was at the event in London in a black tie dress, I could smell the smoke because it was in my clothes.
Oh.
And
yeah.
And I was just literally in the event in London, and I said, "Do I smell like smoke? Because I can sure smell it." And he goes, "I can't smell it. We're numb to it."
Yeah. So everything's permeated.
Yeah.
Everything needs to be cleaned or gotten rid of.
Yeah.
And then this place, and why don't you take me for a tour?
Okay, come on.
I guess.
I like a good tour. I'm sorry we're cleaning, obviously. And everything there was a fabric banquette, so it had to get torn out. Also, the house is a smart house, and so electronically it's all dug in, and with the on and off power and heat, this broke and this didn't. So it's weird. It's all set up, but this one will not fire up. And these refrigerators are $8 or $10,000 or something for one of them.
Yeah, each. Yeah.
So that's a nightmare.
Yeah.
Heating and air conditioning cannot operate it. I've been strictly prohibited from operating it because apparently it gets the smoke through the system. So that can't happen. Although I think it was running when the fires happened.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And then the pool, I've cleaned it. I've lost track of how many times let me see if these work here. This is a lift and slide door. And what happened here is these are Pella lift and slide.
Love me some
Isn't that
Pella.
nice, right?
Yeah.
So what happened here is when the heat came down the hill and touched the outside of the house, it turned all the paint, and the doors and windows black. And then when you go to lift them and open them, all the rubbery stuff is all stuck, which is heat damage, which is different than smoke damage.
Right.
And then all this stuff, which is structural composite, melted. It got hot and melted. The mechanics to open and close this don't work anymore, so that has to be replaced because there's no way it won't work anymore.
So the fire got that close.
Got hot.
Got that, created that kind of heat.
Yeah.
When do you think you'd be able to rent this place out again?
I don't.
You don't?
I don't, because the street to get in here is barely passable after the flood.
Right.
And then all the construction and all the debris that has to be hauled out.
Yeah.
None of the homes are cleaned yet because they're complex.
So might it be 6 months, a year? What's your best guess?
That is the $1 million question that nobody wants to answer. But I would say if I was being optimistic, at least in a year, everything would be cleaned out and we'd be able to get the road sorted out.
And so how does insurance work with that?
They haven't canceled me again yet.
But do you get compensated for that, $1 million worth of rent you're going to lose?
Well, now some people do have in their insurance policies lost use, lost rents, things like that. But even if you do have it, and I've told a lot of people this, listen to me, it's a cap. It's not indefinite.
Yeah.
So if you have $250,000 of lost use, that's going to last you 2.5 months here. So big deal. What big deal?
Right.
It's gone.
Right.
The drains don't work anywhere after a fire because the ash gets like a glue when it gets wet.
Oh, yeah.
So most of your drains won't work.
Yeah. So you had a banquette here, and you took out all the cushions and all the panels.
And then down here, which is the kind of main play level, the previous tenant had a gaming passion. And this was all filled with gaming stuff. So that we got out of here. I don't know if he's going to have any luck with it. The movie theater doors were open. So the movie theater I have to reupholster, recarpet everything because it smells so terrible. Unfortunately, the walls and the upholstery don't, there's nothing you can do. I was going to try to shampoo it, but I'm hopeful I can save the leather belt wall, but maybe not.
Yeah.
And this we can clean. This is walnut, but the suede and all of that is going to have to come out.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's too bad.
The stairs I think will be all right. We don't have a lot of carpet in the house. I think we can clean the hardwood floors and refinish those. I can certainly repaint. But furniture, forget about it. And so I took it all out, and it's just, isn't it crazy? It's like, and then we haven't gotten down here yet because we started on the top floor, but this right here is literally from sheer wind and the velocity of the wind.
Right. Yeah.
I was back here looking back here, and
really came
so
through.
obviously, that's the wind that would be created to do that.
Well, I mean, it was blowing up to 100 miles an hour, right?
Well, also you can see under the doors, and there used to be no visibility under the doors, which makes me think that all that stuff did, in fact, melt out of there.
All your rubber sweeps.
That's right.
Got melted away, and then the wind was blown in. So that's interesting.
Crazy, huh? If you don't have windows that are airtight, watertight, you can't have any kind of guarantee that you won't get water in the house.
Yeah.
So I've got a, problem there.
I like your bar, by the way.
Thank you.
That is nice.
Well, that's snazzy little grill and bar for the pool.
You got a grill down here? That's living, man. Wow.
Making it good. The ice maker is another thing that won't come back on. I think the power must have gone up and down very high and low.
It surged.
And I'm trying to figure out the pool. Pool equipment melted in both of my pool area, homes that had pools. We lost the pool equipment. And then this all burned.
So the fire came right up to...
It burned the wall all the way back.
Burned the wall.
Yeah.
Wow.
And the guest house was open.
Oh.
So they didn't close the guest house. So it's just a disaster zone. And I've cleaned the pool twice. The first time it was completely black, I cleaned it. The flood came, I had to clean it again.
Oh, the flood.
And now I have to clean it again because they're cleaning up there and there's nothing holding the hill. So all the water's just coming down into the pool.
Yeah.
So it's kind of been these guys are trying to figure it out right now. I said, build a retaining wall, clean all the dirt out, and make another culvert for it to get out.
Wow.
And then on the back there, on that side, the fire came all the way down too.
Yeah, you can see it's burnt there.
And my old neighbor sold his home, and I had built him a guest house before he did that. The other structure I built on the street, and it survived the fires.
Oh.
So this is all mud that keeps coming down as they whatever they're doing.
Right.
So I said, make a wall and get it away permanently. Hi, you guys. And so here, let's see here. Yeah, so this burned.
Oh, wow.
And if you look at it, like you wouldn't have thought that it won't work, but he's like, it won't work. And then I came back and looked at it and you can see where it caught on fire.
Yeah.
It's just from
heat. My God.
Yeah.
It melted. That's your heater too, which is ironic.
It is ironic that the heater's made out of plastic.
It's got a plastic shroud on it, on the pool heater, that melted from the outside.
The heat melted the heater, although the wood behind burned too. See the little retaining wall?
Yeah.
I'm so lucky, man. Just pure luck.
Oh my God, yeah, look at that retaining wall.
How lucky, right? Come on now.
That retaining wall just literally burnt right through the middle of it.
I can't figure. So
that's
something
crazy.
Maybe big that was on fire was sitting there and burned
I
out?
guess that's a very weird burn. It'd be funny if I fell in the pool.
Would be terrible.
Yeah, the house looks a lot grander from this perspective. That's for sure.
See right there, the whole like thing burned?
Oh yeah, look at the burn on the palm tree. Boy, you can't get too much closer than that, can you?
No, I'm telling you, it's insane that it didn't burn down. The retaining walls, they must have just protected it. It couldn't, maybe couldn't get any wind, right? It couldn't get enough.
Oh yeah, I think it was the wind. I think it was
Yeah.
the wind, yeah. And the whole trellis, so that trellis isn't, is that wood or metal, that
It's
trellis?
metal. It didn't burn, but see the plastic? See how those got hot? That all melted.
Yeah.
And what doesn't work on the trellis is all the mechanics.
Oh yeah, yeah.
All the
'cause
little things that make it move.
Yeah.
It doesn't work.
Yeah.
Incredible. And look at the color of the doors.
Yeah.
Insane how hot it must have been.
Yeah. Wow.
I mean, obviously, like this burned out.
Look at this retaining wall.
And this, I think, is because it was so well irrigated, so much water, that maybe it just couldn't get a go at it, you know? And then it blew up against the house.
Yeah.
They fought this somehow because there was so much water up there, so we can't. And I found like bits of the roof, so somehow they were blowing. See the roof pieces, the little shingles?
Yeah.
So they fought it.
So the firemen did get up here.
They might have been on Chautauqua.
Oh, okay.
I don't think they could get in here, but they got on Chautauqua.
It's weird how those retaining wood burned that way.
And how it didn't, like, it just stopped.
Yeah.
Again, I do believe it's water.
Yeah.
And then this, of course, got trashed because it just was too exposed and operating. So that's gonna have to get replaced. And then I thought this was when I realized how hot it was. How hot does it have to be for that to happen?
Yeah, this metal definitely heated up and blistered that vinyl.
And I argue on behalf of your argument for good building materials. I want to show you this. The paneling on this house has a 5-hour burn ratio, that paneling. And I used it on the fence.
Oh, yeah. So if you look at this, so you got a 4x4, you got a treated 4x4. The treated 4x4 is burnt. This maybe hardy backer material or hardy siding. It's this cementous board, right? So it has the grain of wood, and it looks like, you know, it looks like it's like 3/8 by 9 inches of wood with deep grain into it, but it's really just cement product poured in a mold and colored. And so you would use this on the exterior of your house because it wouldn't burn, whereas wood would burn, but you get the look of wood. And you were smart enough to use it here for the fence, and of course it didn't burn. Now here's the back of the material because you've staggered it from the street, right? So we got the cementous stuff did not burn. I don't know if the company Hardy makes it, but it could be. That's how they do a bunch of siding and stuff like that. And then you have your treated 4x4 posts that went down to the ground, and some of those didn't fare that well, like that one there.
It's interesting how they like snapped. So they must have got so hot they snapped, but they didn't catch on fire.
Well, yeah, that one, the material, the 4x4 just burnt away, behind it. Yeah, and that's where it broke.
I'm gonna do a little commercial for them because whoever they are, they did make a great product.
Yeah, well, it's the new world order. They're doing all this cement-based paneling now, which it's going to be a requirement for all new construction, I'm sure. It's either going to be stucco, a brick veneer like you have, or cement-based siding product, which you smartly went with.
All the boat hardware, all this stuff is so hard to find. It's all like off a yachting guide.
Oh, it's all like marine grade stainless steel. Smart.
Oh, it's so easy. I wanted to show you this because I thought you would appreciate it. So this is the master, which same thing, like black. Look at how everything melted outside. Isn't that a shame? Imagine you're like the amount of water and heat. We threw all the furniture out and cleaned it, but this has to all come out now. And I thought I could get away with it, but I just feel like it's all melted.
This is like engineered decking material.
Correct. It's like a structural composite material.
Yeah, but you'd use this if you're building a deck and you didn't want to go with dimensional lumber, like 2x6.
Something
right?
you have to paint every 5 minutes.
Right.
Stain or
But you
sand.
went with the 4x4 treated, and then you went with this, and then this, what they did with this is the glass. So, okay, here's what they did. Here's how they built this.
He's so smart.
They took this piece of composite decking material and they put a groove in it.
That's right.
Called a dado. And I can see the saw curve and I see how they did it. I think they made 2 lines with a circular saw, probably a high point saw. May have had a 7 1/4 carbide. Hold on. I think it was a 42 tooth.
42
Carbide on a 7 1/4 high point circular saw. They made 2 runs. They're creating a dado. They set the depth on it for 1/2 inch. Then they chiseled out the center. They created what is called a groove, what's called a dado, and they snapped it down on top of this tempered glass. During the fire, the glass heated up so hot that it expanded and burst the material that had the dado on top of it.
Wow. Wow. I'm impressed.
I know, and you know how dumb and lazy most comedians are? If you said to Pete Davidson, what happened here? He'd just be like, I want some Taco Bell and weed, and he'd just leave.
So I do a his and hers bath, which survived.
Oh, this is beautiful.
Isn't it nice?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's pretty, right?
Yeah.
And it lived.
Yeah,
It
the
lit.
tile's beautiful.
So nice and beautiful in here. I love a great,
I like that the city made you put fire sprinklers in the shower.
everywhere. Insane. Like,
Yeah, fire sprinklers.
which
in
did
your
not
shower.
go off.
It didn't go off.
No.
It cost you $4,000 to put a sprinkler next to your sprinkler.
Precisely.
What's it cost basically a square foot to build a house that is this custom?
3,000.
3,000 a square foot.
You could do 2,500 maybe, but
But that's the bottom.
it depends. Like if you've got piles and all of that work to do, you got.
Oh, I mean, you're
you gotta
talking.
include it.
Oh,
you
you're
know?
talking about caissons and digging in the mountain, retaining walls, and all that kind of stuff.
In the Palisades anyway, it's very difficult to get away from.
It's
either
all that.
piles
But
or-
once,
yeah.
let's just say the foundation is done.
And you're just gonna put it up. You could probably get in there around maybe 1,800.
1,800 a square foot.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you're crafty, know how to do your materials. If you're not paying retail for your carpentry, if you've got your own shop. If you have a partner maybe on the finish side. The problem is if you got to go out and pay retail, you'll spend $1 million on windows, doors, you'll spend $1 million on drapery, for God's sakes.
Yeah.
This is his bath, which is far more macho. Look at this little jewel.
Wow. Is the water on up in there?
I think the water's off. Maybe not.
Oh, I don't know how to
Oh
turn
no!
this
You know
thing
what?
on.
This is smart. So
Oh, it's smart.
No, so
Oh,
the
the
battery.
power's
Yeah,
off.
it doesn't have
Yeah.
the power.
So this is the guy shower. Oh, look.
There it is.
There it is. They
There
had
it
to
is.
put a water sprinkler, fire sprinkler head right next to the shower head. And this is amazing. Obviously, this is like porcelain tile, and they get it to look exactly like wood,
Isn't that
right?
cool? Yeah.
It's absolutely amazing.
And it's so easy to maintain.
This is beautiful.
I'm glad you came to see it.
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice to see something standing. You did a great job.
Oh my gosh. Onward. We're coming down now.